In this video, we're going to study Aesop's fable of the man and the lion. The man and the lion. Let's read the fable together, pay attention to the characters and details of the fable, and then we'll discuss the moral and maybe some applications of this fable to our lives. The man and the lion. A man and a lion once argued together as to which belonged to a nobler race. A man and a lion once argued together as to which belonged to the nobler race. The former, the man, called the attention of the lion to a monument or a statue, on which was sculptured a man striding over a vanquished or defeated lion. "That proves nothing at all," said the lion. "If a lion had been the carver, he would have made the lion striding over the man." This is Aesop's fable of the man and the lion. So we see two characters, a man and a lion, and man is considered to be the greatest of all living creatures. He was created in the image and likeness of God. He's the only animal that possesses the faculty of reason. He has an eternal soul, on and on. Man is considered the greatest of all of God's creatures because he's made to be like God. The lion is considered to be the greatest of all the beasts. He's fearless, powerful, terrifying, on and on, the greatest of all predators. In a hand-to-hand fight, lion would easily kill any man. Of course, reason would lead man to create a trap or invent a gun, which allows him to kill a lion from a distance and not fight a lion hand-to-hand, and that's how man proves himself to be superior. There's an old saying, the smart take from the strong. So they have this argument about which is the greater. And the man, to prove his point, he points to a statue. And he says, look at this statue. It shows a man standing over a defeated lion. There, that proves that man is greater than the lion. And the lion says, that's ridiculous. That's a terrible argument. That statue was made by a man. If a lion had made that statue, he could have made a lion standing over the man. So that's no argument at all. Now there's a number of really interesting things to think about in this fable. First of all, lions don't make statues. That's one of the differences, right? Men build cities, make statues. Animals don't do those things. A lion can't make a statue. And so that's sort of an interesting point there in the fable, that the lion says, well, if a lion would, well, if we're allowed to say if, well, then a lot of things could be true, right? If a lion had reason, maybe he would defeat a man, but he doesn't. Right? So it doesn't matter when we say if, which is a sort of a theoretical or hypothetical argument. What matters is the fact, the reality. The man can make a statue. The fact that man can make a statue shows him to be greater than a lion. A lion can't do that. That's a sign of man's superiority, the ability to create imitations of nature through art. So that's an interesting thought, but I don't necessarily know that that's Aesop's point. As I said, the lion could easily destroy the man in a hand-to-hand battle, so if physical power was the ultimate test, the lion would be superior to man, and in many situations where lions and men meet in the natural world, lions prove themselves physically to be superior to man. But what I would argue the real moral of this fable is, because let's face it, Aesop's not being too strict, too serious by having a lion and a man talking to one another. So obviously the fact that a man can make a statue is not the point that Aesop's trying to make, because a lion also can't talk, and here we have a man and lion talking together. So the actual moral, I think, is found in the saying of the lion at the end. The man says, here's proof, here's a statue, here's an image of a man standing over a lion in victory. That's proof that men are greater than lions. And the lion's response is, the only reason that that's so is because a man made that statue. If a lion made the statue, he could easily have made the man standing over the lion. Therefore, the statue proves nothing. Okay? So the moral seems to be, whenever something is offered as proof, we need to consider the source. When someone offers proof of something, we need to consider the source. And I can think of many good examples of this in the Catholic life. For example, we'll find that many people have very bad thoughts about the Catholic Church, about the Pope, about Christianity, about Christian people, and so on. Many people think that other religions are better than Christianity. Many people think that no religion would be better than Christianity. They prefer not to go to church at all. Many people say nasty things about the Pope and about bishops and about priests, about Christians. And they imagine that because they read these articles or watch these shows or see these paintings or pictures, that in those articles and in those books or paintings, statues, and so on, they think they have some real proof that the Pope is bad, or that the church is bad, that the bishops are bad, and so on. And yet, their articles and books and paintings and pictures and movies and music and so on are like the man's statue in this fable. If a man makes the statue, he can make it to say anything he wants. And if we think about the books and the movies and the music and the articles that criticize and say nasty things about the Pope or bishops or priests or Christians or about God himself, we need to look at the source and realize that that person was free to say anything he pleased in that article. The maker of that movie, because he's basically creating a scene, he could tell any story that he wants. He could cause God to appear to lose. He could cause the Pope to look bad. He can put words into a bishop's mouth in a story and cause a bishop to look bad. And he can make unbelievers or sinners or atheists or any other group, he can make them appear to be superior to the Christians by telling a story. But is that really proof of anything? No. Because if a Christian wrote that story, or that book, or that movie, or produced that music, the Christian could have told the opposite story. And therefore, men's arts and stories and movies and videos and music, these stories don't prove anything. They don't prove anything. They're man-made, they're artificial, they may be fictional, they may be half true, half false, they may misrepresent things, cause things to appear as they're not, and therefore they don't prove anything. Because if someone else had written the same book or a movie or a song, they could have said the opposite. So what men write and sing and act and draw or paint is not the truth. If we want to learn the truth, we don't go to artwork, we don't go to movies, we don't go to books or articles. We go to the real world, we go to real life, we go into the world, go into nature, and test different ideas and see which are true and false. Because if we look to men's works, well, then whoever controls the art controls the story. And that's not proof of anything. If we want to know the truth, we look to real life, we look to real experience, we look to our own experience, we look to real history, true history. We look to the events around us, to our own experience, we look at nature, we look at ourselves. And when we do that, we can find the truth. But we don't look to the works of men. We don't look to fiction or stories or paintings or movies. We look to reality, to nature, to ourselves, to history, as far as we can know history truly. Not anything that's said to happen in history has actually happened in history. So again, history is only helpful if it's true. And so I think the moral that we can take away from this is any time that someone wishes to prove something, we have to consider the source and whether the source actually provides us with proof or just tries to create an appearance of truth that has no reality in it at all. Okay, so we could say, like the lion, that proves nothing. If a lion had been the carver, he would have made the lion striding over the man. I hope that's a helpful introduction. As I always tell you, these fables, if we study them and meditate on them, they have many different morals, not because there's many different messages in this story, but we can look at them from all different perspectives, from all different angles. We can look at them in our own lives and see different uses of these fables. And that's why I'm always interested to hear from students. If you read this fable and see in it a story or a lesson that that you find helpful in your life, I'd love you to share it, because I'd like to see how you're making use of these fables and applying them to your life and using them as guides and helps with wisdom, making good decisions, living well, and so on. So study the fable of the man and the lion. I hope that my introduction at least gets you thinking and helps you to look deeper into this fable. And if there's anything you'd like to chat about, get in touch with me. I'd be happy to hear. That's Aesop's fable of the man and the lion. God bless your studies.